This is an examination of the hidden human condition.
This is the Hidden Killers Podcast
With Tony Brueski.
Shavaun Scott is with us, psychotherapist, author of The Minds of Mass Killers and Hidden Killers contributor. Shavaun, we're chatting about Rex Heuermann, the Long Island serial killer, alleged Long Island serial killer. There's been some silence that's recently been broken by his wife, who was also filed for divorce from Rex. That should certainly be noted. Giving a statement through her attorney saying, on behalf of my family and especially my elderly neighbors, who have also had their lives turned upside down by the enormous police presence, in addition to the spectators and news crews, they deserve to live peacefully. They should be able to walk their dogs, go to the grocery stores without cameras shoved in their faces. I'm pleading with you all to give us space so that we may regain some normalcy in our neighborhood. And obviously, that's very easy to accept, and I think most people would agree with. Obviously, if you're a reporter, you're just going to take that and report that and keep the cameras pointed at the house. But at the same point, this is someone who is dealing with a lot. Based on the observations of what you've seen thus far, what are your thoughts on this family, the children, the wife that have now returned to the home where Rex also once lived?
You know, it's got to just be absolutely earth-shattering for the family. And everybody is continuing to conjecture that they must have known something. And very often in these cases, the families don't. They just don't know about the hidden life. Their lives will never be normal again. There's just no way to integrate our husband, our father, is a murderer, is a serial killer. And it's hard to even wrap our heads around what would something like that be. The sense of betrayal, the shock, the shame. This is going to be quite a road ahead for them. I really have compassion for them.
Do we as a society have too much tolerance for bad behavior like this, as long as it takes place in the shadows with society's undesirables and things of that nature? Because this is one man that it looks like we've caught as being a serial killer, but there's thousands of people who go missing every single year, many of them in the world of sex work, of being trafficked, not even someone who ever signed up to be in that sort of a trade, but ended up being abducted or manipulated into it in some way, shape, or form by a bad character. But if we're not seeing it too much, we like to seem to be shocked when we hear stories like this. It seems like this is honestly not that uncommon, and I feel like more of these types of people are hiding beneath our nose. Is that an overstatement?
I think you're right. We definitely have a class system in this country, as much as we don't like to acknowledge that. I think that people who are white, who are from a middle or upper class environment, are valued more. Sure. Pretty people are valued more than unattractive people. And it's a very uncomfortable reality that there are people who are just throwaways. And when we look at homeless, poor women who work in sex work, alcoholic men on the street, the drug addicts, we have people being murdered all the time. Certainly in my community, the murder rate is very high. But it's not the middle class that's being murdered. It's the poor people. It's the homeless, people that are killed on the street. And I do think that we tend to overlook that. And it says a lot about our values, which is not pleasant to look at.
Yeah, if these had been middle-aged, middle-class housewives that had been murdered, I feel like we might have been on to Rex Heuermann a lot earlier. But again, that also changes the dynamics of who Rex would have been targeting, which probably would have been a little more difficult and not such low-hanging fruit, people who are already out there looking to make money by having sex with somebody, which is something I thought about because I saw he recently, or came out rather, that he's not connected as of right now to unsolved Golden Key Motel murders in another city. But then it said to me, there certainly is somebody who is. If it's not Rex, somebody else is doing these sort of things. And I don't know. When we look at Rex Heuermann now, neighbors say, yeah, he was really weird when his wife was gone, and there'd be all this holes being dug, bizarre things taking place. It makes me wonder how many more people can take a look around them and go, maybe this should be looked into a little bit more, because there is some weird behavior that I'm seeing around me, whether it be a loved one or whether it be a family member or a neighbor or this or that. I'm just curious how many more of these people are right in front of us that if we took a deeper look, we could identify sooner.
Yeah, I have often thought if we could look inside the mind of walking down the street and having some kind of telepathy where we can sense what other people are actually thinking, it might be horrifying, because the secrets people keep. I have a neighbor who's a bit of an odd duck. And I was just thinking last week, I haven't seen his wife in some months. And she was an invalid who didn't come out much. But when we have these cases, we do start to think, whoa, what about that guy? And what about that guy? We do start to think a bit differently. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we need to pay more attention to these things.
Yeah, that's the question, without infringing on people's own rights. Some people are just weird. That's really...
Yeah, some people are, more than we like to admit.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm in no way trying to criticize. I'm just trying to get a better understanding. These people, this family of Rex Heuermann, his wife, and the 2 adult children at the home, they want privacy, totally understand that. But the porch has almost become a stage, is what I've observed. It seems a lot of actions take place on the porch in front of the cameras that are standing there. They recently got a care package from a neighbor, which I thought, that's very nice that the neighbors haven't just been like, get out of the neighborhood. They're opening it there. They do a lot of sitting there. They do a lot of where the cameras are just sitting on them. What is this? Is this just their porch and they like their porch? My thought process would be, if you don't want the attention, you don't want the cameras constantly on you, don't sit in the line of the cameras. I know it is your porch. Is this just how they're healing and how they feel the way to present what's going on? Or I don't know. It just seems odd to me. Normally, in cases where people want privacy, they're behind walls.
Yeah, I have to project a bit about my response. I think I would be hiding out. I definitely wouldn't want to be photographed. I wouldn't be on the news. It may be something as benign as they just want to show, hey, we're normal. Here we are going about our day. We are normal. And that's certainly a possibility.
Are they communicating that message?
I can't say I've seen a lot of that. And this is something that we'll probably notice more over time as this goes on. Obviously, the attention is not going to stop.
This is an examination of the hidden human condition
This is the Hidden Killers Podcast
with Tony Brueski.